Today, I'll be showing you something very important, and that is how to put your Kodi on autopilot. So everything you play, your movies, your shows, they play with one click. But most importantly, I'm gonna show you how to keep your Kodi clean and running smooth automatically, so it doesn't once a week or whenever you choose to do so. That's coming right up. Hello everyone, how you guys are doing today? Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. The feature that I'm going to show you right now is a pretty cool one, and you will enjoy it. We're going to set up all of your favorite add-ons like Exodus, Bubbles, Zen, and also Specto, if you use Specto, to play anything you want automatically. Right now, when you attempt to play a movie or a show from these add-ons, it's gonna first populate the list of sources. You have to click on a website, and that takes a while. You want the add-ons to do it for you automatically with one click. And you want them to pick an HD source by default. So don't worry if you think it's gonna pick a source that is not in optimal quality. Don't worry, it's gonna pick the HD source first, and it's gonna play it automatically for you. Now, the second part of the video, which I think is the most important one, is a tool that we're gonna use to keep Kodi clean automatically for you also. You don't have to do this manually, it's gonna do it for you by default every time you open Kodi. You see, when you use Kodi, over time it stores a lot of junk files, old log files, thumbnails, cache, and you have to clear all of that, especially if you're using a Fire TV stick or a small device or Android boxes. You don't want all of that to be kept in your system. You want Kodi to get rid of all of that, but you don't want to have to do it manually all the time. You want Kodi to do it for you, basically putting Kodi on autopilot, and that's what we're about to do right now. Let's start with the add-ons. Let's start with Exodus, and the way I get to the settings menu in all of the add-ons is by clicking on my keyboard the letter C. You click it, it's gonna pop up the sub menu. You're gonna click on settings, and in the case of Exodus, we're gonna go here where it says playback, and by default, of course, you're not gonna have autoplay. You're gonna have something else. I think it's dialogue. So you're gonna hit the OK on your keyboard or the remote control that you're using, and you're gonna set it on autoplay. That way, when you play a movie or a show, it's gonna play automatically for you without you having to pick a source. Now, one very important aspect about these add-ons is the provider. Some providers require pairing, and you don't want Exodus, for example, to pick one of those providers by default. So whichever one is giving you problems, like Torba, which is a troublemaker, for example, we're gonna remove them so Exodus doesn't pick it again in the future. And you do that by going into providers, and then here you have all of the list of providers. You go down all the way till you find Torba. Which one is it? Here. And then you're gonna take it off. You're gonna click on OK, so it saves the settings, and you're not gonna see Torba pop up ever again. If you see another provider that is giving you the same problem, go back into providers and take it off. That way it won't choose it anymore. In the case of Bubbles, same thing. We're gonna click the letter C on the keyboard. We're gonna access the settings, and here we're gonna go where it says automatic playback. And in the automatic playback, you're gonna enable this. It's gonna be disabled by default. You're gonna click it, you're gonna click on OK, and the next time you play something, it's gonna play by default. In the case of Zen, again, let's click the letter C on the keyboard. We're gonna access the settings. We're gonna go here where it says playback, and on the playback, the default action, you're gonna select autoplay. Again, the same thing as Exodus. You're gonna come here to the providers, you're gonna take off Torba and whatever other provider you know of that gives you problems, that doesn't work as smooth as the other ones, that require pairing, you want it out of there. Alrighty, you click on OK, and that's gonna save the settings for you automatically. Now, let's go into the second part of the video, which is keeping Kodi clean and running smooth automatically every time you open it. And we do that with a very useful tool that is the Echo Wizard. Really good job that these guys do. And in here you're gonna have weekly auto cleanup. By default it's gonna be off. You're gonna click on OK, you're gonna turn it on. Then auto cleanup, again, it's gonna be off by default. You're gonna click on OK, you're gonna turn it on. And then the very last piece is this one. We're gonna tell Kodi to clean pretty much everything at a certain amount of megabytes. If you're using a Fire TV stick, I recommend using like 25 megabytes. Keep it really low, keep it really clean. And if you're using like an NVIDIA Shield or a high-end box, you can leave it at 100 megabytes per second. That's how I'm doing it here. I'm gonna show you how to do it. You're gonna come here all the way where it says auto clean options. And then you're gonna clear Kodi on launch. You're gonna select that. By default it's gonna be like that. You're gonna turn it on, and here you're gonna tell Kodi, I want you to clear cache every time it reaches 25 megabytes, or in my case 100 megabytes. By default it's gonna be disabled, so we're gonna select it like that. Again, if you're using a small device like a stick, you're gonna select it at 25. Let's just do 25. And then clear packages, Kodi, I want you to do it every time you hit 25 megabytes, okay? And clear thumbnail, same thing, 25 megabytes. And here, if you want it, right now we have it set up so it does it every time you open Kodi. But if you wanted to do it once a week, you can select the day of the week you want it, Monday, Tuesday, or whatever it is. So it's gonna do it for you automatically. The problem with that is that once you set it for a specific time of the week, if the box is not on at that time, it's not going to perform the task. That's why I prefer personally to do it every time I open Kodi. That way I make sure that it will do it for sure and it won't forget, or the box will not be off or anything like that. And that's basically how you do it. Alrighty? Let me know what you think on the comment section below. I read absolutely all of the comments. I may not respond to all of you because it's a lot, but I read them all and I try to help as much as possible. So down below, let me know what you think about this feature. Let me know what you want to see on the channel. If you want me to review something, if you want me to pay for a service, an IPTV service, whatever it is, let me know. I will pay for it, review it here, and bring you what I think of it, my thoughts of the service or the product or whatever it is. Also, don't forget to subscribe, very important. That way you keep yourself up to date with everything that goes on in the streaming media world, the world of IPTV, the world of Kodi, Android APKs, private channels for Roku. You'll watch it all here. And as always, thank you very much for watching this video, and happy streaming.